What is up everyone, Barricade here and bringing you guys a quick Gears 5 discussion video. Today is actually the 1 year anniversary for Gears 5. Gears 5 was released exactly 1 year today as of September 6th of 2019. So today's video was simply going to be me talking about Gears 5 as a whole and what the Coalition has done since the very release of the game. So the very first thing I just want to say is the way this game has been handled from the beginning, since 2019, hasn't been the greatest, and it wasn't until Operation 4 that the game has finally taken off for me. So the thing that's kind of funny is that if we started the game the way Operation 4 was set up, right off the bat, if Gears 5 came out with the shop, all the characters that Operation 4 had and things like that, that would have been a great start to Gears 5. The problem with Gears 5 was that when the game first came out, it lacked content so much in every department. It did not have many characters to play as, it did not have many maps to play on, and the game overall just felt very bare bones and very empty. And it never really felt like there was a reason to come back to it. And then to tack onto this lack of content, the game itself was very money hungry, to the sense that you would have to buy everything. If you wanted a specific skin or a specific character or something like that, you had to literally pay actual money to get that. And that was a huge turn back from what Gears 4 had, where you had the packs. While the packs were kind of annoying in Gears 4 with them being random instead of just using your coins to get what you wanted, at least it still gave you the opportunity to earn something that you wanted without having to actually pay money. Whereas with Gears 5, you just simply had to pay money. And the thing that was really annoying about this is it felt like the Coalition got a little bit of an ego, to the extent that they felt like they could release a game that was half-assed and expect the fans to simply pay the game to add more content later. To basically fund the game is what it felt like. And it was really annoying, and there was a good chunk of time where I did not play Gears 5. I would say for about the first few, 2 operations, I barely touched the game, and I never hit the highest tier in the tour because the game just felt so lacking, so boring, and it just felt like just completely a huge waste of my time. I was better off playing other games, and even though I love Gears of War, the game itself just felt really dead to me. And it was kind of sad and annoying because I really love this series as a whole, if you guys, been watching my channel for a while. But the good news is once Operation 4 had came along, it added a lot of content, added more characters, added the shop, and it made the game feel more of a type of game that you would want to play. I don't know how else to describe that. Essentially a much better experience, to where you felt like you were earning things with the Gears coins, things like that. And now the game itself feels like it's been fully released. It almost feels like the first few operations, all this time up to this point, felt like a horrible pre-release, like a beta or something, because of how much it lacked content and how much anti-consumer it was. Now the game seems a lot better. I enjoy it a lot more, and me and my friends play every weekend. So that's actually turned the whole game around for me, because before, like I said, there was a point in time where I didn't even want to touch the game. I didn't even want to play the game at all. And now it's kind of made its way back into my rotation of games that I play all the time. So that's a really good improvement, from the game itself. Ever since the game was released, though, I will say that we haven't gotten too much content. We've only got a handful of characters, not too many of them. And we've also gotten only like about 3 new maps. I know we've gotten more than 3 maps, but when I say new, I mean actual new maps that's never been in the games before. We've gotten Pahanu, we've gotten Reactor, and also the Allfather's Arena, which honestly all 3 of those maps are pretty good. I guess out of all the 3, I would say Pahanu is probably my least favorite. It feels really too wide open and seems really Lancer heavy, really cross heavy. But overall the map itself isn't too bad. It's a pretty cool map in my opinion. Allfather's Arena is pretty fun. I like how it constantly changes its layout, so that kind of makes the map feel really universal. One layout may not work for you, and in the very next round, a new layout is really fun to play on, maybe help you out to an advantage, things like that. And then out of the 3 new maps, I would say Reactor is my favorite. Something about that map gives me really old vibes from previous games. Like, it just gives me like a kind of an old school Gears of War map type of vibe. But overall, the map itself is pretty good, and I really like it. It's actually my favorite out of the 3 new maps. And when it comes to the characters, I feel like I'm really happy on my end, because I really like Dom and Sam, and they brought both of those. And the characters still overall do feel lacking, though. We've kind of got only a small variety, a little handful of characters. And the major reason why, the one thing I want to talk about that real quick, the major reason why we've gotten such a lack of characters compared to other Gears of War titles is because it's kind of funny, because the Coalition wanted to make it to whenever they released a new character, each character would have a unique special ability for Horde and Escape. The funny part was, even after all this time, it seemed like they couldn't really think of new abilities or make these characters the way they wanted to. So once they realized that these characters are coming out so ridiculously slow because they haven't been making these abilities for them, they finally said screw that and decided to just release characters specifically for versus, and have stated that when it comes to Horde in Operation 5, they're going to open all the abilities to be used for any character. So you can be Marcus and be like an engineer or something like that later on in the next operation. So that is great. That's a good idea, a good improvement, because it shows that now we're going to get more characters more often. But it's kind of sad at the same time, because that's them admitting defeat, basically saying, sorry guys, we can't think of special abilities for each character. We're just going to give all the abilities to everybody else. So it kind of just shows, like, even after all that time they had, they couldn't accomplish that. And it's kind of sad, because they had a lot of time and they've been getting a lot of money from things like Game Pass, and also the characters and skins and everything that they're selling. But for some reason they just couldn't put it together enough to make characters more regular. So it's kind of sad that they basically admitted defeat and said, all right, we're just going to release characters for versus, and then make Operation 5 have it to where anybody could use any Horde abilities, so we don't have to try. We don't have to think of new abilities. They probably will later on, but it's probably going to be very rare when a new Horde ability comes out, or a new escape ability, whatever. So it's just kind of poor handling on their end when it comes to characters and Horde and PvE essentially overall. But at least in a way, even though it sucks that they admitted defeat, in a way it's good that they made it to where now we can just simply get new characters for versus and for Horde. And starting Operation 5 with the Horde abilities unlocked is going to make those modes a lot more fun. So that's a good thing. But overall, I just kind of wanted to point that fact out, that they just simply could not think of Horde abilities and make them fast enough to have enough characters in a game in a good amount of time. So it's kind of sad at the same time. But overall, when it comes to Gears 5's first year, I would honestly say that when it comes to Gears 5's first year, I would give it like a 3 out of 5. Like, not really great, but not entirely horrible either. It just feels like they really messed up right out the gate. And then with this past few operations, with Operation 4 and now with Operation 5 coming out, in the future, they're going to make the game essentially what it should have been. So at least they are listening to fans. And the thing that I really like about this whole situation in the end, though, is while it did suck that Gears 5 had a horrible start, it's only going to get better from here. And then it's going to lend this type of vibe, this type of good ideas to Gear 6. So I feel like when it comes to Gear 6, when eventually that does come out, in the future on the Series X and things like that, it's going to have a good start, because now we have someone at the helm, someone at Coalition who really wants to appease and listen to the fans. So they're going to release the game with this type of mindset. The problem was when Gears 5 came out, we had Rod Ferguson, and it was really disappointing to see his type of tactic when it came to this game coming out. They seemed really money hungry, very anti-consumer, very cocky, and it made the game very horrible at the very beginning. But now that we got someone else at the helm now, someone that actually listens to the fans, the game is only going to improve, and in Gear 6 should have a good start. So overall, when it comes to Gears 5, first year is just kind of a little bit of retrospective thinking about it, what this game has been. I'm happy with the game now, and I only want it to get better. We need more maps, we need more characters, and we need, essentially just more variety of content for the game for it to have longevity. Because right now, it essentially has been turned from a horrible game to a decent game. And now we need it from a decent game to a great game. And that's what we really need when it comes to Gears 5. As a Gears fan, this is what I really want for the series. And I really hope that this blunder of this game coming out, and being the way it was, will only add to the game being better and the series being better as a whole. So yeah, it's just something I kind of wanted to talk about, guys. If you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe and tell me what you guys think about Gears 5 as a whole ever since the game first came out in 2019. Do you still play this game? Do you feel like it has been improved? Did you go through the same experience like myself where you thought the game was horrible, never wanted to touch it, and then now with Operation 4 it has brought you back? Anyways guys, thanks for watching and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see any of my other content, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.